I think the first point is that the measure, and this applies both to the practitioner and to the patient, needs to be relevant. It needs to have meaning to them. For the patient, they shouldn't be surprised when they see that measure. They shouldn't be saying, how is this relevant to me? And for the practitioners, they should be using a measure that actually they're going to be able to use. We know from reports from patients that they don't mind completing measures, but what they don't appreciate is if they're then not used. So the whole point is actually using them. So we talked about, in effect, face validity. It has meaning. For practitioners, there are a number of factors. Two of them would be brevity. I think it needs to be brief, and that also applies and relevant for practitioners. And it should also be free. I think we're way beyond the stage now where services should be spending money on measures. So brief and no charge in that way. And then there is a kind of more scientific basis that any measure that meets those criteria needs to have appropriate psychometric properties. And this is where people can deliberate and procrastinate about measures. But, it needs to be reliable. It needs to have good validity basis against other measures. It needs to be measuring what it purports to measure in that sense. And it also needs to have other elements which are relevant to ROM. So we talk about having clinical cutoff points. So in other words, this is a point in any measure where we can say that a patient score is either above caseness or below caseness. If we don't have that information, then we haven't got an end point to be driving towards in that kind of way.